This is the Simpit. I'm Andreas Martin Mørk. Welcome to Project Sim Racer. First of all, I'm very sorry for the delay in releasing this video, but we've had a variety of technical difficulties which, if you're watching this now, have been fixed. So as you can see, for day 4 I was planning to run a full 2K World Cup race simulation, but with the pedal issues, I hadn't even run a single race that week, so I was itching to get on track. So I decided to throw down a quick qualifying lap in the Skippy, which was nothing to brag about, and then pop into the next official race, excited to scrap it out at this draft-heavy track.
Let's just stay out of trouble and run a clever race.
Green. 10 laps to go.
The
This
guy
by.
in front of me jump started. Okay, he's going out to the side there.
On your right, 3 wide. One on the right side. One only. Clear, clear.
So yeah, somehow my car was still fine, so I started chasing the pack even though I was feeling really bad for the guy I hit, as he did retire. But after several incidents and all kinds of chaos up front, I suddenly found myself literally in the middle of a 3-car battle for P4.
Door quarter clear. One only. Clear, clear, clear.
I tried to take the lead on the last lap, but it was premature and I got passed again in Canada corner. Luckily he ran wide, and coming into the last corner, I found myself on the outside trying to get back on him.
Left side. In
For
and
a
out.
while, I thought I
Left
was winning
side.
the battle.
One wide. Still there. Quarter.
Got it.
You were probably being gentle with me, Andreas,
Company
but
checker.
man, that was fun racing.
Yeah, that was fun. Ah man,
You're still smiling
you got
about
it.
that, aren't you?
I thought I had you there.
I was indeed in front until the very last moment when he somehow pushed the throttle a bit harder than me apparently. I'm still not sure how that happened, but I'm guessing the guy behind me might have affected my aero. But it's probably more likely that my slightly bent front wing after the lap 1 contact added some additional drag to my car compared to his. Either way, it was a fun race, but it's not only the race I want to show you this time. This is the 7-day sim camp, a training camp, and I want to give you an insight into how I practice and improve. So in the following clip, you'll see how I analyze and study the lap 1 incident immediately afterwards. So as we see, the car in front of me will jump to start in a second. There he goes, there I go. Now I've got quite a better run here than the guy in the number 6 car did. He starts slowly pulling over in front of me and just gets a wheel in front of me. I start braking here, I start dragging the brakes. Then I released them again because I thought I had a bit more time. And then I was just too slow to react when he hit the brakes. But this was an unnecessary mistake, and unfortunately it did end this guy's race, number 6 here. I mean, there's no incident that happens just in isolation. There are other factors in play. Now, a disclaimer, this could have totally been avoided by me by just braking earlier. And I don't mean to say that this is anyone else's fault, but there were a few other factors in play as well, so we'll take a look at those. First of all, we have this guy jumping the start. Now, as soon as he was clear of the 6th car, he should have pulled over to the side here. Let me show you this. He's got, well, maybe not. He does have some room. He pulls over to the side. But he should have stopped there, because he had to pit anyway. He should have just slowed down, let everyone by, complete his lap, and then pit. At least in my opinion. Then we've got this guy, and he wants to get past this guy. Of course, I'm thinking he thinks that the guy who jump started is gonna slow down, but he doesn't. Instead, he just slowly goes into my lane. He kind of leaves a gap for me there. He doesn't go completely in front of me, but that doesn't really matter, because I mean, I would have hit them anyway whether he was completely in front of me or just had a wheel in front of me. And he could have been closer to this guy as well, to the right, the guy who jump started. But again, I'm not saying this was anyone else's fault really. But it's just kind of interesting to see how these kind of lap 1, turn 1 things play out, because then I could put myself in these guys' position and tell myself what would I have done in that position. And what I would have done as the blue car there, I would have maybe just driven into the pit exit there, right here, waited for everyone to get by, and then start the car back up again. If I was this guy, I probably would have left more room for me in the 5 car there, because I mean, he was a lot closer to me than he was to the other car, and I mean, he didn't really have to move all that much. But yeah, it was his right to be there, don't get me wrong. It just it's one of those things where you have to be extra cautious in order to not get hit by idiots like me. But that's what happens. I'm gonna write him a message just saying I'm sorry and all that. Yeah, there was not a whole lot I could do, so I just kept on racing and got the best out of it I could. It's really all I could do at this point, and do what I've just did by analyzing what I did wrong and trying not to do it again. Now, on the schedule, you may have noticed a bit of an odd bullet point. The session with a DeRose method instructor. You may have heard of this method as it's been used by all kinds of people, including racers, sim racers and real racers alike. It sparked the interest of Sean and I, which led us to start up a training program with DeRose instructor and fellow sim racer Fabio Martins, who's got lots of experience with training other racers, one of which you probably know, Atze Kirchhoff. Now, to be honest, this is still almost as new and unknown to me as it is probably to you, but what I've gathered so far is that it's very much about learning about yourself and becoming more aware of your own body and emotions in order to become your own best version, both physically and mentally. And don't worry, it's much less spiritual and new agey than I make it sound. But yeah, this idea of becoming your own best version is a concept that I've always been very interested in and have spent a lot of time researching myself. So when Sean told me that this was on, I was as excited as a 5-year-old on Christmas morning. I'm not going to tell you much more than that, as I'm still very new to it. So for now, I'll just stay curious, open-minded and skeptical in the good way, and have fun with it, as it has been very enjoyable and beneficial so far. I'm not gonna show you a great deal either, as Sean will have a segment on this in the future, but I am gonna give you a taste of what such a session encompasses.
So the idea is breathing, core strength, moving your body, and then we're gonna wrap up with what we call an assimilation technique. This technique is all about helping you to understand what happened to your body and to your physical self, to release the tensions from that so you can allow some interesting recovery, and to be able to free up mental resources so that we can start to work on the mentalization aspect of our work. And so there's going to be 3 or 4 moments in the class that I'm going to say, okay, here we're going to see how far really can we push our limits. How we're going to have a very physical sort of representation of what we can do. Okay. I'll tell you that one of our racers, he drives Formula 3s, could do one of the positions we do today for over 35 minutes.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's a benchmark. We have some teachers in our network over 3 hours, but we'll see where we get today.
Yeah.
Yep, you can lie down on the floor, Sean. Rest your body. Yeah, see, that's what I said. He's going to want attention. It's okay to hug him. You can relax your neck on the floor. And over the next few moments, breathe. Inhale and exhale exclusively with your nostrils. Trying to inhale slowly.
While this was nice and relaxing, we quickly found out that this was not as easy as just breathing.
Good. Sean is dancing the polka. All right, let's make this a little bit more interesting. Open your eyes. And the next time you exhale, try to touch your chin on your knee. If you find that easy, close your eyes.
While we went through a variety of different exercises, or techniques as Fabio calls them, we were only just scratching the surface.
This practice is like an onion. There's lots of layers. So there's lots of things that there's no point me telling you today because they're too subtle for you to notice. You just see the thing from the outside and like, yeah, it's an onion, but you don't know what's inside. And there's a ton of layers that I've worked on that you are going to take a while to become aware of.
Right.
I reckon we'll do a few more of these before we do more of the conceptual work and start to talk about what's happening, start to set some objectives.
That is it for this one. Stay tuned for the last 2 videos of the 7-day sim camp, which will be out as soon as possible. Although I dare not make any promises this time with the slew of issues we had. But if you follow me on Twitter, I'll keep you up to date with this series and with my sim racing career. This has been the Simpit. I'm Andreas Martin Mørk. Thanks for watching Project Sim Racer. Either. Why not both? Both.